folks, it's Andy. Welcome to this week's Kendo Rant. Before we jump into the questions, a couple of things. First of all, of course, go and shop at KendoStar.com. I've got to say that. And more importantly, go and check out the Kendo Zero to Shodan episode 1, which I posted just on Monday. If you haven't seen it yet, I think it's a really great video. I'm really proud of it. A lot of work's gone into it, of course. It is very basic, so if you are experienced at Kendo, I know it's going to be a lot of stuff that you already know about, but it is quite good to have a refresher or kind of look at things from a different point of view. So definitely go and check out the new episode of Kendo Zero to Shodan. I'm really overwhelmed with the positive feedback we've had. People seem to be really responding well to it, so thank you very much for that too. And as well, the feedback that I'm getting, some people telling me what they think will be better, what they'd like to see differently, that's super helpful too, because I'm going to be taking that on board as we start to produce more episodes. So yeah, go and check out Zero to Shodan. It's on the channel, so you should be able to find it easily enough. So right, first let's jump into these. The first one, it's not really a question, it's more of a comment, and it's a little bit associated to what I've just talked about. It says, Andy, really appreciate your uploads. Even if it's a marketing thing, first and foremost, I'm not sure if it really increases your sales as much as someone might think. I do find your uploads provide some real value for many of us. I'm looking forward to your new video series. So first of all, thank you so much for that comment. I really appreciate it. Now, look, these videos that I put up on the Kendo show, these Kendo rants or the instructional videos, Kendo Zero to Shodan, they're not, I don't think of them as a marketing thing, all right? Of course, I am marketing KendoStar throughout them. I am telling you to shop at KendoStar, asking you to shop at KendoStar. I'm throwing adverts in there. And when I post them on the blog, of course, they're peppered with ads for KendoStar, because that's what pays the bills at the end of the day. And KendoStar is something I'm really passionate about as well. Because I think we've created something really wonderful with KendoStar over the last couple of years. It's, you guys obviously think so as well, thanks to the ratings that you give us and how popular we are. But I don't want you to think that these videos are just here to advertise KendoStar, because that's not what they're for. Yes, shop at KendoStar if you can, because that definitely does support these videos. But the videos exist because I really want to provide value to the community as a whole. I'm not just trying to sell Kendo stuff to you. Again, it'd be great if you did buy it from us. But the purpose of this really is so that, these videos can provide value so that you can watch them and you can gain something for it. Whether you buy something or not, it doesn't matter. I really appreciate the support that you give the videos and the content, and continually, you know what I mean? I get comments like this all the time, which is really great. I get emails, people telling me how much they enjoy the videos, and people even tell me that they started Kendo after seeing the videos, and that's the best thing ever, knowing that I'm in some tiny way even helping increase the population of people doing Kendo. I mean, that's been my dream all along, to be honest. Whether they contribute to the marketing or not, I don't really know if they do. Like I say, of course, I'm always kind of pushing KendoStar and stuff like that. But again, I don't think of them as marketing videos. I do put marketing videos up where I'm talking about, oh, this burger is good because of this or because of that. That's a marketing video. But this isn't what this is for. This is here so that I can help you and the people that ask me questions, and take it or leave it for what it is, really. And I think that's why I came up with the idea of Kendo Zero to Shodan as well, frankly, is because I don't want people to be in the same position that I was in when I first started Kendo, really lacking sort of instructional content that they can benefit from whilst they're not at the dojo. I was in a club that only practiced once a week, and I really wanted to learn Kendo every day. So, I was watching the All Japan Kendo Federation videos on repeat, but, they were super old then. And, all the other stuff that you could buy, it wasn't super good quality and you had to pay for it all. Whereas Zero to Shodan, for example, is going to be out there totally for free. It'd be great if everyone bought from KendoStar, but what'd be even more great is if loads of people saw Kendo Zero to Shodan and it helped them either start Kendo or progress towards whatever goals they've got in Kendo. So yeah. that's that. Right, next one. Now, all these questions are from the early access group. We're getting loads of questions in there now. I think most people are migrating across to posting the questions in there, which is really great. If you're not in the early access group, there's a link down below. It's definitely the place to be. If you're not in there, get in there. Like I say, click the link. The Kendo Show video, instructional videos, Kendo Zero to Jodan, stuff like that, they all get posted in there a few days before they go out live public, so you get to see them before anyone else as well. Like I say, it's free to join. It's just a Facebook group. Just click the link down below and you can join. Right, who was the strongest kendoka you ever fought, and what was the best quality? And before I answer that, there was another question I got related to that, and I can't find the question itself, so I can't quote it directly, but someone also asked me who was the best female kendo person that I practiced with. And asking me to talk about them in the rant. So it's hard, really, because who's the strongest depends what you qualify as strongest. I've done kendo with Nishimura-san, the current All Japan champion. I've done shiai with him, and he totally pasted me. He totally battered me. I think I lasted a minute and a half. He actually skied me out of the shiaijo for skiippon. It was amazing, and I learned a lot from the shiai. I actually stole one of his waza. One of the waza that he beat me with, I took that and I implemented it into my own kendo, and I've had quite a lot of success with it. So I'm not telling you what it is though. I've also practiced with Takenoichi Yuya-san. He's someone I've actually known since he was like in high school. I've kind of got connections with the high school that he went to, and yeah, I think he was like a third year high school student when I first practiced with him. And yeah, that was pretty awesome too, because like he was third year high school boy, and he was just owning everybody. Yeah, he totally beat me up, of course. But I saw him as well practicing with the police officers who were there. They come to visit that day as well, like the police Tokuren players. And I'm talking like some of those guys were famous players, All Japan level players, and he was knocking them around. And as a third year high school student, you don't see that very often. That was super impressive. And I've practiced some amazing sensei as well, of course. One of the, you're asking who the strongest kendoka is. I mean, I'd say that one of the strongest kendoka I ever played was a 9th dan Inoue sensei from Kyoto. He was like just a whole wall of seme, and he was just in total control of me, and the dude was like 80 something at the time, and like I couldn't touch him. He hit me whenever he wanted to hit me. He just made like easy work of me. This is like 5, 6, maybe a bit more actually, 7 or 8 years ago now. But crikey, yeah, that was an experience, and he's I mean, that'll never leave me either. Practicing with somebody of that in that stage of their life, but still so so strong, was just fantastic. As females go, there was a 7th dan lady that I used to practice with in Kumamoto. She was super good. I really enjoyed practicing with her. She's not super well known, but in the area she's well known because there's not so many 7th dan ladies. One of the best female kendoka I think I've ever seen. I've not actually practiced with her, but it's somebody I actually know quite well. I used to go and practice at the school she used to teach at through her invitation. Is Ogata sensei. Her name's Ogata Yuki sensei. She's amazing at kendo. She's probably a similar age to me, maybe a bit older, year or two older. We were in the the reason I know her is because when I was first in the World Championships in Taiwan, she was on the Japanese team. I didn't know her then, but when I actually lived in Kumamoto, she's from Kumamoto, and I actually met her for the first time there, and we kind of talked. So, we were both in the same World Championships sort of thing. And she said, you should come and practice in my school. Went and practiced, and I didn't practice with her directly, but excuse me, watching her kendo just fantastic. It's it was really beautiful kendo, and I think you'll see a lot more of her going forward. She won the All Japan Ladies Championships a few years ago, so you could probably, not a few years ago, like quite a few years ago, but you could search that on YouTube. I think she's gonna be one of the most probable candidates for one of the first, if not one of the early 8th Dan females. Definitely watch out for her. Okay, next one. I've got a few questions on both Nito and Jodan Kamae. In Nito, are there any advantages or disadvantages when holding the Daito with the right hand instead? And secondly, in Jodan, is it possible to do so with the right foot forward instead? Basically, Migi Jodan, like the Shidachi in kata number 1. So, is there an advantage between holding the Shinai and the Daito, in the right hand instead of the left hand? I don't think there's such an advantage or disadvantage as to which way round you do the Nito. Probably holding it in the right hand could be a little bit more awkward for your opponent because they're normally going to be attacking the right kote normally, against somebody doing chudan. So if you got the shoto in the right hand, it's not too dissimilar. But if it's on the other side, if it's the left hand, then it's much more awkward to hit that kote. However, I don't think it's a massive thing. I don't think I'd struggle with it that much for that reason anyway. About Jodan, it's possible to do it with the right foot forward. You just lose the main advantage that left Jodan has, which is the additional reach. So when you do left Jodan, you're in sort of your left hips forward. Your hips aren't square generally. Your left hips kind of forward. And when they do the katate waza, it's for additional reach. If you did the same thing with your right foot forward, you're you're losing a good few inches of reach there. It's you can do it, but I think you'd be sacrificing the advantages that Jodan gives, and you'd be better off doing Chudan. Next one. Does anyone have any advice for making sitting in seiza easier? There isn't a great deal of things. There's probably some stretching or something you might be able to do, but most people get used to doing seiza, especially in Japan, just by doing it loads. So there's a lot of youngsters in Japan that don't do seiza as much as the older generation did, especially as like chairs and stuff are more popular now in Japan. I'd say that not non-ironically, by the way, like in the past, people didn't have chairs in the house. They sat on the floor in seiza. It's just a case of doing it more. Next one. A couple of Suburi questions that have been plaguing me for a while now and over the weekend. In Suburi and Suriashi, we focused on the left leg recoil in time with the strike as the Kentai no Ichi. While in Keiko, the strike is timed at the same time as the stamp as the right foot with Fumikomi. I wonder why it is so rather than one style, be it Suriashi or Fumikomi. And 2, what is the benefit of Matawari Suburi practice since it doesn't involve much footwork? So, great. I actually answered this on the thread, but I wanted to talk about it in this video as well because it might help more people. So the first part of the question is, when you do like a basic Suburi, like Zenshin Kodaimen or something like that, normally you do it with Suriashi and you time the strike as the left foot comes up. So as the left foot comes up, you tend to time the strike, which is fine. And why would we practice like that when in Keiko we do Fumikomi and time the strike on the right foot, not on the left foot coming up? Why don't we do it one way or the other? So we do Fumikomi so that we can cover the distance towards our opponent. We can make a fast, a dynamic, powerful attack in a short space of time. You can't do that so well with Suriashi. So that's why we attack Fumikomi. Now we don't do all of our Suburi with Fumikomi, we do Suriashi in that way, because what we're practicing is the act of, I can't show you because I'm only top part of my body here, but the act of, as you bring the shinai down and bring the left foot up, it all comes together as one, okay? And by doing that, because you're swinging the shinai quickly, you force your left leg to come up quickly, if you're doing it properly, that is. Okay, so you're forcing your left leg to come up quickly behind your right leg. It's called hikitsuke-ashi, and it's super, super, super important in Kendo, right? So what you're doing is you're training your body, your legs, so that the left leg comes up quickly behind the right leg with fast hikitsuke-ashi. When you do keiko, when you do an attack with fumikomi, that same thing has to happen. Now, it's not timed with the strike of the sword this time, but it's almost almost the same time, because it's coming immediately after your left leg. Now, what a lot of us face is the problem of not having fast enough hikitsuke-ashi, and our left leg either trails along behind us, and it means that we can't move quickly after making a strike, or it kind of, instead of us pushing forward, which is again something you fix by doing your suburi properly, pushing from the left leg and bringing it up together. But if you don't cut this way and push forward from the hips, lots of other people would also have the habit of kicking the foot upwards, kind of like this way. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen it. And that's because they're kind of jumping upwards. Habit I actually had myself, I think like when I was like Jodan or Nidan or something like that. So that's why we do that, okay? So that you set that habit in your body for your left leg to come up quickly with that good hikitsuke-ashi. And matawari suburi is when you have your legs spread apart in like a horse riding stance, and then as you swing, you kind of do a squat. And the benefit of that is that it toughens, it strengthens, your thighs. And it's for the exact same thing. After you do fumikomi, excuse me, after you do fumikomi, you stamp with the right, you push with the left calf, right, for fumikiri, that's the pushing off movement. And you stamp with the right leg, and then you use your right leg, your partly your calf, but also your thighs to pull that left foot up quickly. All right, so you're strengthening your lower body so that you can pull that left foot up quickly for that fast hikitsuke-ashi. It's actually pretty much the same purpose. Okay, so that's why we do matawari suburi. Okay, last one. I'm going to challenge 4th Dan this coming December. I've watched a video on preparing 5th Dan, and it gives some great advice for 4th Dan and 6th Dan as well. What you said made absolute sense and is more or less what I've been concentrating on in preparation. But is there anything else that you would add specifically for 4th Dan? So this isn't the only comment I've had recently about what to do in 4th Dan exam. So look, up to 3rd Dan, you want to be looking mainly for correct technique, right? It's more of a technical accomplishment. So up to 3rd Dan, I'd be expecting somebody that's past 3rd Dan or looking to pass 3rd Dan to be able to attack with fumikomi, with kikentai no ichi, make strikes that are essentially meeting the criteria of Yuko Datotsu. And I'd also like to see a basic understanding of Datotsu no Kikai, so trying to make attacks at the correct timing. For 4th Dan, it becomes about more than just the technique. Now, of course, the technique is also quite important. If you aren't at a technical enough level to make strikes with Yuko Datotsu and have still managed to somehow get through 3rd Dan, then you're going to struggle with 4th Dan. However, what I would say is that what I'm really looking for in someone that's going for 4th Dan is I really want to get into the meat now of that Datotsu no Kikai, okay? Datotsu no Kikai being the opportunities for striking. And I'd be looking at their ability of the candidate to be trying to make their own opportunities for attack rather than just attacking techniques or making techniques that they want to make by themselves. All right, so making techniques that have been selected based on the interaction that they're having with their opponent. Yeah, so essentially that's the basis of semi. Yeah. So I'd be looking at whether they are responding and actively trying to create opportunities that are based on the actions of their opponent. Okay, so rather than, okay, I want to try men, yeah, men, I want to try kote, yeah, kote. They're observing their opponent and they're putting them under a type of pressure that elicits a reaction that then they're going to hopefully use to make a successful strike. And then when that strike's made, it has to meet the criteria of Yuko Dototsu. And that's about it, okay? And it sounds easy when I say it like that, but it's super hard. And that's why it's difficult to get through 4th Dan. And it's very similar in terms of 5th Dan and 6th Dan. When you get sort of higher up, it then becomes about more things like the actual, not just, it gets, I've talked about passing 6th Dan, but it's like where you've got to take the initiative, what's called the sen. That's also super important as well. So that's my answer for that. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to do shopping at KendoStar.com. I've talked about that loads now today. And join the early access group. Links in the description. Like, share, subscribe. You know, all that sort of thing. And thanks very much for watching. Let me know some questions for next time. And I'll see you all in the next video.